Good evening to all. How's everybody doing today? It is September 15. The time it is 5:15 in the evening. Be sure to like the video, share the video, like the video, and share the video. Uh, before we move on, God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining in. It is 5:15 in the evening. Today is September 15 of the year 2025 of our Lord and Savior. So, again, another boat was destroyed by the U.S. authorities in classified, unclassified a video that it just was released, and this has exalted and has completely caused a lot of controversy and diversity of opinions in terms to what the United States is doing in international waters, destroying these boats. I will have my opinion regards to that. The majority of the people that they're against what is happening on destroying these boats and on basically putting a stop to this narco terrorism that is occurring in international waters are progressive leftists, Marxists, leftist woke ideologists. They're the ones that they're always defending the narco terrorists and defending the rights of these narco terrorists and expecting, for the government or for somebody else to give them a warning. You got to be kidding me with this. These people have never lived what we have lived under this narco terrorism that we have lived all of our lives. So let me put this on screen for people to understand what is going on. This was a video that it was released by the White House, and it's an unclassified. And look at that vessel. I want you to look at that vessel, because that little boat, because we are going to put an example of what these progressive mercenary liberals, they have never experienced in their lives. And since when they have been doing this, this has been a thing that they have done for many years, trafficking, enormous quantities of drugs through international waters. And it brings me back to the memory on the year 2022 when Ben Berquam and myself, we went for the first time to the Darien Gap. Guess what happened when we went to the Darien Gap? We got on one of these boats that it was taking the migrants, and they were also using the trafficking of humans to take them to the Darien Gap. But at the same time, they were trafficking drugs. And we were in presence of a boat that it was capsized just like this because of the enormous quantity of load of drugs. The boat capsized, and we were able to record that. And I was remembering that the other day. I found the video, and I will play that for you guys. But let's go to this information that I believe that is extremely important. This is the little boat that it was, and I want you to look at this boat as the video shows that it was completely destroyed. Apparently, 3 narco terrorists were in this boat, and they are deceased as they were intending to try. This is the way that it was destroyed. It's done. You're done. The United States is not playing around. They're not playing around with this. And I think that the message is clear. You got 3 people right there. They're not playing around with this. And the message is clear. You're not going to do this anymore. To the Maduro, to the Cartel de los Soles, to the Clan del Golfo from Colombia, you're done. You're not going to do this anymore. And also, this goes beyond what is going on with the Mexican authorities in terms to the enormous trafficking and smuggling of gasoline that they were just discovered because Marco Rubio came over here and put a lot of pressure on the Mexican government. And now they're starting to find that the Marines and the Navy are involved in the enormous trafficking and already have an Interpol, wanted Navy general or Navy official that they're looking for him. They're not playing around. They're intending to eliminate this problem. And whoever is defending this and whoever is defending why you not give them a warning why you're doing this in international waters, why don't you come and experience what we're living? Why don't you come and experience the violence that we're living? Why don't you come and experience the extortion? Why don't you come and experience the kidnapping? Why don't you come to Mexico and experience the enormous mass graves that is happening, the cartel activity? Why don't you come and experience the violence and the delinquents and the consistent, terror that we're living for many years? Why don't you come and live over here? And for the ones that they say, these gringos that they established themselves yesteryear for like 5 or 6 years, I live over here. You haven't lived what we have lived. We're sick and tired of this. This is what we are raising our children to see every day. We are normalizing this conduct that this is okay. And this is not okay. So if you get to understand, the boat was eliminated. This was a hit on this boat that apparently it was carrying illicit drugs in in international waters, and it was struck. 3 people are deceased. Now, I want to put this report that it was done by liberal ABC News, but I want you to just listen how they inform and how they try. This is the problem. The media of the United States of America has a gigantic problem. You guys have a big problem. And the situation is that it's so progressive and it's so liberal that it's fast forwarding like a cancer and contaminating the whole continent and the world. And from here, you have another one that is defending. And from here, you have another one that is defending. And, it's just incredibly, how it is being posted on their media. If you go to ABC, so it says, it's long, man. It says 3 killed in a U.S. strike on a second alleged. It is not alleged. It is not alleged. Why you put allegedly? No, it is not allegedly. It is a strike on a narco-terrorist boat that you had 3 narco-terrorists that they were willing to smuggle and to traffic enormous quantities. It is not an alleged. It is not. It was alleged. But that's the highlight of the note on top of it. So it says 3 killed in a U.S. strike on 2 second alleged Venezuelan drug boat, Trump says. Then you go on the bottom and it says, and I will read as you see the picture right here on the bottom. But let me just read to you. President Donald Trump said on Monday that he ordered another military strike against a boat that he insists, look at it, look how ABC flips it, was carrying illegal drugs from Venezuela to the U.S., telling reporters the operation left 3 people dead and big bags of cocaine and fentanyl floating around in the ocean. So apparently that is a lie. That is alleged, right? That is allegedly for all you fake news media. That you live comfortably living out of your capitalist United States of America and, capitalist, capitalist system, and you're living on a capitalist lifestyle and a free lifestyle. There's a comment right here, and I will go right to it immediately, and I will answer it immediately. It says, Michael Gale says, Oscar, why is the Mexican president giving Trump a hard time for our military to come and take care of the cartels? Because you're not going to. You're not coming with your military into our country. And it's not only the president, it's the Mexican people. It is against our constitution. It is called collaboration. And Marco Rubio already came over here to collaborate with intelligence, with the Mexican government, and they already came to an agreement of collaboration, not with the military to come in. It is against the Article 129 of the Constitution of Mexico, and it is against the Article 89 of the Constitution of Mexico. And the only ones that they can give the authority for foreign military to come in, it is the Congress of the Union and the Mexican president. And the Mexican people do not want a military to come into our territory. It is the corruption that we have a problem. It is not that our military is not capable of taking care of the problem. So let's go back to this news. So it says President Trump said on Monday that he ordered another military strike against a boat that he insists, saying like he insists, like he's lying, that it was carrying illegal drugs from Venezuela and the U.S., telling reporters the operation left 3 people dead and big bags of cocaine and fentanyl floating around the ocean. The strike resulted in 3 male terrorists killed in action. He wrote in his social media post, "No U.S. forces were harmed in this strike. Be warned, if you're transporting drugs that can kill Americans, we are hunting you." The strike was the second of its kind in less than 2 weeks in what appears to be an unprecedented use of lethal, unprecedented, look, this is your media, people, unprecedented use of lethal military force against criminal enterprise. What else do we need to use? For God's sake, are you guys dumb in ABC? What else do we need to use? What else? Do we need to say hello, how you doing to these people? Just this weekend, there was a decapitated body found in Tijuana. Just recently, a war, it is still going on in Culiacan between 2 cartels killing at each other. There's multiple mass graves that they are found that the cartel is using to hide bodies. They're recruiting children in elementary schools to do hit jobs and to be sicarios. What other lethal force do we need to use? Are these people in ABC dumb? What kind of cloud, what kind of dream are they living? What kind of world do they actually live? In what kind of bubble these people live? Are they defending cartel members now? Are they defending the cartel in the organized crime? It's amazing. It says the strike was the second of its kind in less than 2 weeks in what it appears to be an unprecedented use of lethal military force against criminal enterprise. In the past, the U.S. government has relied on the U.S. Coast Guard and law enforcement personnel to board vessels for inspection, much as it did on Friday. But earlier this year, Trump insisted that drug cartels should be in the same legal category as foreign terrorist organizations. And yes, they are. The only ones that they're not calling that a terrorist organization, it is our president of Mexico. And why she's not calling them, it is because she's afraid, first. Second, because the government, it is enormously controlled by the cartel. Third, it is because a lot of them, they're involved with governmental officials. And this is the reason why we need to expose not only the leaders of the cartels, but also the dirty politicians that they are holding the spider web. And it is because of them that we have this enormous problem. It is not because of our military that is not capable to take out the cartels in Mexico. It is not because our police force, it is contaminated, fully contaminated. If we did not have the seed of corruption in our country, believe me, the military of Mexico, it is 100% capable to release the Kraken and to go after every single organization, criminal organization in Mexico. The strategy that the government of the United States is doing, putting the 25% tariff and pressuring them to eliminate this problem in Mexico, it is actually working. And I will tell you why. Just recently, Marco Rubio came over and a whole trafficking ring of gasoline was discovered where the military The Marine and the Navy were involved, and I will post this right now in a few seconds. And I have set this report in the past, but let's go back to this vessel. Let's go back to this boat. So it says, but earlier Trump insisted that the drug cartel should be in the same legal category as foreign terrorist organizations, paving the way for the kind of lethal military force reserved under the law to prevent an imminent kinetic attack against Americans. Critics, look what they're saying. Critics of his administration have questioned this legal justification and whether it amounts to a war crime. For God's sake, a war crime. Eliminating narco terrorists. These people are contaminating the whole continent. These people do not live over here. Why are these people taking orders? And why are these people saying what they should do to these narco terrorists that they have run our countries to the ground and they have contaminated our countries to the ground? Somebody's saying, so why aren't they capable? Our military is capable. It is the corruption in the politicians that they're holding the decisions for them to move forward and to eliminate this problem. Please, people, stay on the topic. And I will answer your questions at the final section of this live feed. It is unbelievable, the media, how they're classifying and how they're trying to defend these attacks against these boats that they have been doing like a taxi route in international waters, moving enormous quantities, tons of quantities of synthetic drugs, and they're going after the leader of Cartel de los Soles, that is Nicolás Maduro, the dictator from Venezuela. And the problem, it keeps aggravating and aggravating. But the most amazing thing is how the media of the United States of America protects. Now it is protecting. Not only you got the leftist media that actually advocates for radicalism, advocates for, that advocates, promotes hate. The media, for the leftist media from the United States, promotes hate, advocates for violence, advocates for Antifa. They advocate and protect, violent situations which are happening in the United States. For God's sake, they're advocating for these people to make fun of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It is incredible what the media is doing. And now, because the majority of the Latino population in Central and South America, believe me, they want this problem to be eliminated as fast as we can. But apparently, now we need to ask permission for these people to tell them, hey, there's a warning. We're coming for you. If you continue to do that, we're going to warn you, or we are going to kindly go and address you in the middle of international waters and say, hey, how you doing? What are you doing over there? What are those packages that you're carrying over there? The left media of the United States of America has become a cancer. It is not exercising the freedom of speech. It is basically contaminating the minds to believe something that it's not. And it is a reality. They're advocating for criminal organizations. This is a video. And now I want you to understand why we say this. Every time we bring the evidence, you guys know that we have risked our lives every time that we go. This picture that you see behind me, I put it proudly because it's the first time they crossed the Darien Gap. And my God, we got sick, we got tired, we got exhausted. And after that, we did it 3 more times. And we have crossed that road 4 times. We put ourselves in harm's way in the border with Venezuela, in the borders with Colombia, where they were trafficking drugs and trafficking humans through the Darien Gap. Why am I saying this? Because in the year 2022, Ben Berquam and myself, we brought the evidence of what they were doing in international waters. And what they were doing in international waters It was what they are eliminating today. This problem, it has been going on for years and decades. And now it is the time to put a stop to it. And they're putting a stop to it, sending a deep message to the organized crime and the cartel. And the only ones that they're complaining, it is the leftist ABC media or the leftist media that they're defending actually these criminal organizations. Look at this video. It is a video from 2022. We were riding on the boat where they were actually giving out these tourists inside of the Darien Gap. We were on this boat with more than 50 migrants that they were about to be trafficked into or about to be smuggled or about to pay a tourist package to go into the Darien, into the route of death. As we were going on this boat, we found a capsized boat in the middle of international waters in Colombia. Apparently, this capsized boat, guess what it was carrying? And we don't know if the people that they were in this capsized boat survived or not. But these people were trafficking synthetic drugs. These are the kind of boats that they need to be eliminated. And actually, ABC and other medias, they're advocating for them to give them a warning, not to eliminate the problem, for the problem to be addressed differently in a most humane way. When these people are decapitating, destroying societies, communities, and destroying countries. No, sir. It is a time to put order to this. And if this problem needs to be eradicated and this cancer needs to be eliminated the way that it's doing right now, everybody supports that. The majority of the people support it. Look at this video, and now you will understand since when we knew that this problem was happening, and since when we knew that this problem, they were using these boats not only to traffic humans into the Darien, but also to traffic drugs into parts in Colombia. And those drugs were coming from the international waters that you guys are seeing now. This video is from 2020.
The Coakley, and we stopped and we thought, what is it? Are we whale watching or something? Yeah, and then all of a sudden we realize there's a boat that's capsized. It's one of the smaller fishing boats, and no bodies. So we don't know if they've all already drowned or what. These guys, he's got his rescue gear on. Just shows you how dangerous this journey is.
There you go. Yeah. We should give them a warning. We actually documented one. We actually were in the presence of one that capsized in the middle of international waters. Ben and I, we actually go to the place that is actually happening. In the middle of a boat full with migrants that they were about to be smuggled into the Darien Gap and taken inside of the Darien Gap. and be paid off by the Cartel El Clan del Golfo, a package for them to be trafficking all the way to the middle parts of the mountain of death, where a lot of migrants have died, fall into a place, a mortal decline of more than 2,200 feet in the air. On those boats that they are specifically, it looks like tourist boats, we found a capsized boat, exactly the same as you're seeing in the video that I just shown you, that it was recently destroyed by the U.S. authorities. It proves that these boats are actually, if they're being destroyed, it is because they are carrying these packages that they are, as we shown right here. And these packages, what do you think that they have? Furniture? Yeah. What do you think that they're carrying? Toys from Toys R Us? What do you think these packages are holding inside over there? Electronics? Yeah, of course. The boat capsized and a lot of packages were underneath. And ultimately, when you see the boat as is being pulled out, that I'm continue with the video right here, and you're going to see the boat that is being pulled out, it is exactly the same boat that I will post right here. Again, the boat that it was recently destroyed. It's almost exactly the same boats. These boats are being used in international waters to move enormous quantities of drugs across international waters. And we were in the presence of that. What were the, the circumstances and the odds that we were right there present at that time? Ben and I were like, man, what were the odds of that? What were the odds of us witnessing this? Let me put the video more so you guys can see.
So it looks like there's actually two packages of dope in that boat. They've come to the top. They're trying to save the boat, and rope snapped, and the dope load just floated to the surface. That's what's happening down here. Trafficking people and drugs. Well, now the dope is not floating in the water, so apparently we have it on our boat now. And as we just left the scene where that boat had capsized, we don't know if there's bodies in the water. We couldn't find any bodies, but we did find the two dope loads. We just passed another boat of illegal migrants heading in there. What's happening, they actually use the illegal smuggling of people to cover the smuggling of everything else. It's all coordinated, it's all tied together. It's wild.
They build a smoke screen to make believe that there is only people, but in the open sea, like I have said multiple times at Tapachula, late at night we don't know what happens. During the day we don't know what happens. And it's all controlled, but sadly, when you're doing the wrong things happen.
More than likely they're dead, because you wouldn't leave. We were talking about that. If the boat went down and they called in for another boat, they wouldn't have left the product behind. So more than likely they're either floating in the ocean. We went around in circles a few times trying to find them. More than likely they've already drowned though. Yeah. And getting back to Nicocley,
Let me put the video back again so you guys can understand. Why am I referencing and why am I basically what am I referencing to? So this was the boat that it was recently destroyed by the United States in international waters. You see that? It is the second boat that is being taken out by the United States authorities in international waters. You already have some progressive liberal media saying why they're doing this, why they are actioning in international waters and destroying these boats. We do not care. We want this problem to be eliminated, and if the United States is doing that, we are gladly celebrating that they're doing it. Actually, we that's what we need to do, and that's what it needs to be done. Now, I will put the video as you guys are seeing this boat right here that it was recently destroyed, and let me play the video as I am. It is a 26-second video right here that it was an unclassified video of the boat. As you see, there's packages on the front already. For them to take action is because it's already been identified of what kind of packages they have. You got 3 individuals on top. Boom, it's done. That's the way it is. You're done. It's not happening. So you see the boat, right? You see actually the boat. Now let's go to this video, and I want you to see this video that we were in the middle of this route that they were using from Necoclí, Colombia, all the way to the Darien Gap entrances to La Miel, Capurganá, and Acandí. Those 3 entrances through the Darien Gap were controlled by the Clan del Golfo Cartel that has already been designated as a terrorist organization. That terrorist organization was controlling the massive flow through the Darien Gap and also the massive flow of international trafficking of narcotics and synthetic drugs through those international waters. How do we know? We actually were there present when a boat, we discovered that it capsized and it had synthetic drugs in them. This is actually the video, and I will play it again for you guys, and I will leave it completely for you guys to share it. Buy me a coffee. It is pinned right there in the chat for people that want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. We are going to be traveling soon. So thank you so much for reposting the stream. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel in YouTube, and subscribe to our, page in X, and give it a like to a video in Facebook. Let me play the video again for you guys to see.
Watching or something. Yeah, and then all of a sudden you realize there's a boat that's capsized, one of the smaller fishing boats, and no bodies. So we don't know if they've all already drowned or what. These guys, he's got his rescue gear on. Just shows you how dangerous this journey is.
You see the boat. You see that boat. Now, let me just put these. It is a little bit different. Why? Because possibly this other boat, it is more equipped, and it is highly more faster to handle the waves and the tides of international waters. Do you see the boat? Now, let me put this one on so you can actually see this boat. Similar. So let's go back to the video. This was the boat that it was recently destroyed, the second boat that it was destroyed by the United States authorities in international waters. Let's go back to this video. You're actually seeing the packages flowing out. A lot of the packages were underneath, and they started to flow out again. And the people from the same boat, let me pause this. The people, as you see the packages floating right here, the people that they were in charge of these boats that we were at, they were, part of the organized crime and part of the criminal organizations that we were in. Why? Because these people are the ones that they are actually smuggling the migrants in through the Darien Gap and asking them for a tourist package, which they were paying $350 to $340 per person. Now, how do we know this? This was actually the bracelet that they were giving them on these tourist packages. This right here. This was actually the bracelet that they were giving them on these boats. Let me just remove the video for a second so you can set Panama security all the way to Panama. This was actually the bracelets that they were giving out on these boats to every migrant. We found these bracelets in the middle of the mountain of death. There were thousands and thousands of these bracelets on the ground with a lot of evidence as used condoms and, this shoes from little children. And the condoms. So these routes, not only they were being used to traffic illegal migrants or migrants through illegal pathways, but also they were using them to move these quantities of these packages of synthetic drugs, and we have actually evidence of it.
So it looks like there's actually two packages of dope in that boat. They've come to the top. They're trying to save the boat, and rope snapped, and the dope load just floated to the surface. That's what's happening down here. Trafficking people and drugs. Well, now the dope is not floating in the water, so apparently we have it on our boat now. And as we just left the scene where that boat had capsized, we don't know if there's bodies in the water. We couldn't find any bodies, but we did find the two dope loads. We just passed another boat of illegal migrants heading in there. What's happening, they actually use the illegal smuggling of people to cover the smuggling of everything else. It's all coordinated, it's all tied together. It's wild.
They build a smoke screen to make believe that there is only people, but in the open sea, like I have said multiple times at Tapachula, late at night we don't know what happens. During the day we don't know what happens. And it's all controlled, but sadly, when you're doing the wrong things happen.
More than likely they're dead, because you wouldn't leave. We were talking about that. If the boat went down and they called in for another boat, they wouldn't have left the product behind. So more than likely they're either floating in the ocean. We went around in circles a few times trying to find them. More than likely they've already drowned now. Yeah. And getting back to Nicocley, whole another group of illegals getting on the next boat, heading out. They got their mats, they got their tents.
So for this kind of media, now after I just show you this evidence, right, that it's clear, the evidence. After, and liberals are going to say, but did you know what the packages were? Yes, later on, the packages were delivered to certain authorities in Colombia, and there was a big situation right there because media was at the dock and they had to report it as what it was. It was synthetic drugs that were discovered in the middle of international waters. But let me just put this on screen now. Now you can understand why when you hear this liberal media of ABC, just the way that they write their text and the way that they write the headline, it's just incredible what they want to portray and always want to be controversial, that why the United States is taking these decisions to eliminate and eradicate these boats. These people are not good. These are the same people that they were working inside of the Darien jungle, raping women, abusing migrants, stealing from migrants, raping children. And we have vast evidence of that also, as we documented that inside of the Darien Gap when we were in a crossfire with the heroic agents of Panama against 3 criminals from the Clan del Golfo, Colombia, which they were raping, abusing migrants in the middle of the Darien Gap. We recorded that. One of them was neutralized. The other two were arrested, and they were giving them the punishment of 30 years in prison for what they were doing. And for ABC to come out and to say 3 killed in a U.S. strike in a boat, and then second alleged Venezuelan drug boat, it's just, for me, it's incredible. Until when these people are going to stop protecting these criminal organizations? It's just, for me, it's incredible how the media and the majority of the left media dedicates themselves to be enormously controversial. And they want to be controversial just because they want to say the opposite side of what the president is actually doing. That is, what they're doing, eliminating these people, that they're narco terrorists. They need to put a stop to it. They already sent one sign one time. They said, we're coming, and if you continue to do this, we're going to come more stronger. They intended to do that, and it is the second time, and they were stopped. I don't even know how many times they have reported that they haven't told the media. Possibly they have done it multiple times now, but they're not playing around. And these people need to understand that this is serious, because these tons of quantities of drugs, they're coming from South America into Central America, contaminating Mexico also, and ultimately, ending the day, the market, it is the number one buyer, that is the United States of America. And the market is into the United States. So it's clearly, it is it is being taken. The problem, it is sending a message, and this is a clear message to the organized crime and the cartel. What do you want the message to be? You want the message to be friendly? You want them to be warned? You want them to be advised, like, hey, I'm coming, stop, take your drugs back? Like, what kind of this is the progressive, mercenary, liberal media. The same one that right now they're making fun of a person that got recently assassinated brutally in front of thousands of people. The same one that is applauding all these progressive liberals that they have a mental illness in the United States, celebrating a TikTok that somebody got assassinated. It doesn't even matter what political narrative you have or what political difference of opinion you have. It is amazing that that is being respected and is taken to a point that it's being celebrated. It's incredible, these people. There is a huge mental illness that is not only on progressive mercenary liberals in the United States, but also on progressive media, that they're hiring progressive mercenary liberal journalists to run their media and to run the narrative of the media, so they will not understand what actually we are going through. And that is being perplexed all over the continent. And it is wrong. It is disinformation. The majority of the people, the majority of the people that has been, they're sick and tired of it. It is the majority of the whole continent that they're sick and tired of it. We want to live a nice life, a secure life. In Mexico and in Central America and South America, the majority of the people want to live a secure life, like the transformation of Nayib Bukele in El Salvador. That is a huge transformation of what they have done. And this has completely transformed the country for stop. Excuse me. Excuse me. The transformation of of changing the country to give them back the giving them back the security has completely changed the narrative of the country. Now you don't have a mass migration of people from El Salvador fleeing their country because of the insecurity that is happening over there. Now you have people that are staying actually in their country, and they're not migrating because of the necessities of insecurity and also getting a job. First thing that we need to take care of, it is the security of every country for, people to not migrate, and to ultimately, at the end of the day, people to not leave their country and to provide for the country. I think that's one of the biggest things that we need to do. And I'm glad that I showed this video, because I believe strongly that it needs to be shown for people to understand since when they've been doing it, and actually that we recorded something like that, and that we shown to the world that actually these routes, they were not only using them to traffic and to smuggle people in through places that it is, difficult, and they were putting people at risk, and then also Clan del Golfo was selling them the ticket of dying into the most dangerous place for migrants, that is the Darien Gap. But also were using these international water routes for smuggling and trafficking drugs, and actually they're putting a stop to it. Thank you so much for joining in, Oscar Blue, for for our platform. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Buy me a coffee is right there, pin in the chat for people to want to contribute to our independent reporting and travel fund. It is nice to say hello to you guys on this evening. Thank you so much to Samantha. Thank you so much. Says that is why I watch your news. Your journalism is so much faithful. Thank you so much, Samantha. Thank you so much for your support. um, I will accept a couple of questions before I go. I'm not feeling well, so I'm trying to do the best that I can to inform this, that it's I think that it's important. Says Michael, says Hilsa Beck. I've been watching Mexico invade the United States since I was 16 years old. I'm 58 now. Let's not get right into the topic, because if we go back to history, I can be a liberal and I can answer you, how liberals, answer with the topic of California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Nevada, and all this territory that it was not from the United States. So let's not take that, side of the story. Let's fix the problem. Let's focus on fixing the problem. That we need to focus on that, fixing the problem. And it is actually being fixed by this actual administration that is actually pushing the Mexican government to fix their corruption. That I believe that that is the number one answer, pressure. Pressure needs to happen. That actually it is it is one of the things that is making the Mexican government work, as dismantling laboratories, stopping and detaining violent agitators. More than 20,000 they have done. They have stopped more than 50% of the flow of fentanyl into the north borders that connect with the United States, sending more than 55 leaders of the cartel into the United States authorities, and also exposing dirty politicians, but not by revoking and stopping their process of their visas to enter the United States of America, because they are under investigation. That is extremely important. I believe that is huge. And the actual administration that is doing that, I have asked this so many times, do you think that this will be happening if the Kamala Harris administration will be in office? I don't think that it will be happening, as nothing, remotely closely possible. I don't think that it will be happening at all. I wanted to bring up something real quick before I go. And this is where I'm going. Why it is so important, the pressure that is actually being put in the Mexican authorities. And this is why. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. They hold on. They removed me the uh, from the from the on the. I'm hearing second voice. Hold on, hold on. Hello, hello, hello. Took a while to pull that up. Okay. Uh, well, I will try to do it as quick as possible. I don't know what's going on. Something happened to my computer, and it looks like they removed me from the live. So I will take this topic later on. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you all. um, we're about to you know take care of ourselves here for a little bit. We're not feeling that well, but we're trying to do the best that we can to inform you guys. Thank you so much for joining on this session. Stay safe and buy me a copy. Write their opinion in the chat for people that want to contribute to independent reporting and travel fund. Like we always say, God's plan, it is our man. Thank you so much.